First of all, I'm dying to find out how you get 30-year fixed rates on commercial. So that's a selfish question. So I want to know that, but I also want to know, like, what is working in the marketplace today for investors who are looking to become financially free? Like, what's working? What do you see are the fastest, strategies out there? What advice do you have for someone who's getting into it? How did you do it? What did you end up buying? You mentioned the duplex, so I'm curious about your actual strategies, because I want people to take away, I want people to take away the inspiration and that motivation, but I also want them to walk away from this episode going, okay, wow, I can see a path. And hopefully, people are kind of taking away the blueprint that you're laying out here in this episode. That's really what I'm trying to create for people.
So first of all, how to get a 30 years fixed commercial loan. Are you ready?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Take your pencils and pens out. All right.
Let's go.
Call financial institutes, different financial institutions. I have a list of all the financial institutions available to us. And I think I called about 97 of them.
9 to 7 or 97?
97.
97.
I took 3 years off. I started calling every single one of them. I started talking to the commercial lender. I started talking about the products. And you will be amazed to know that some products are out there that are for like credit unions. And there are some local banks that just offer specific ones. Now, the interest rate is not going to be great, but it's going to be fixed for 30 years, for example, in this case, which for me is amazing because I want a stability. I want to make sure this is the number that I need to put out and give out to a bank. Whatever happens, there could be a volcano, there could be aliens attack, there could be, market crash. I don't care. I have a 30 years fix and that's the money I'm going to pay. So start calling your banks. Specifically, there are a lot of institutions that are tied to New York. Start calling them too. You need to start calling a lot of banks. You need to start to talk to a lot of people. That's how you find them. So this one specifically, I don't know if they still actually offer this or not. It's actually burr.com, like Burr, BRRR.com. Just go there and start talking to them. And tell them that Pasha sent you, so maybe next time they actually give me a better rate. But like, I found them like in one of the Bigger Pockets conferences, which I actually went there and started talking to 10 different people, and then one of them was like, "What are you doing?" I was explaining to. I was like, "If you bring me a good deal, I'm gonna look into to make sure that you get 30 years fixed." So. Don't just write off that, it's not there. I cannot find it anymore and just write it off. That's just not simply true. Now, let's go back to some technique. So how can you become financially free? This is where I would say it's really, really important to, again, go back to why you're doing this, why you are even thinking about financial free. If you don't want to be financial free, that's fine. 100% fine. If you want to be financial free, how much are you willing to sacrifice your present? How much are you willing to sacrifice your time? How much are you willing to sacrifice your money? And when you have a good idea, so for example, if you ask me, I'm willing to sacrifice 8 hours of my day for the next 3 years to make sure that after that I have full financial freedom. And then you'll be able to go backward and look into, all right, finding a deal is going to take me this much. Finding a good lender is going to take me this much. Doing the renovation myself is going to be this much. And that's where you would be able to allocate your resources to your future self to know how you can get to the point. But now let's actually talk a little bit about actually doing it. So let's say you have unlimited resources. Let's say you definitely know that you want to get to financial freedom. One of the main things that always works has been real estate. But the last 2-3 years, in my opinion, it's been just like free candy for everyone, right? They were just basically they were enforced to hand out money for next to nothing because the economy was not surviving. We got hit by COVID. 70% of the population that are, paycheck to paycheck could have completely be underwater, and then we would have Mad Max type of civilization if that would have been the case. So now we're actually going after this, and a lot of people think that's how it used to be, and now interest rates are from like 3% to 8% or 9%. Oh my God, it's the end of it. It's the end of real estate. You can't make money anymore. Let's do something else. It's end of easy real estate for sure. Before you would have been able to really go to like market on some of the specific part of the country, and you would have been able to buy something. The interest rates were so low that you would still come out positively. But right now we are at the stage of this business, and I love it because the stashes are still there. There's a lot of easy hands that are folding, which is amazing. Now you need to have a system in place. If you don't have systematized business, it's hard to survive out there. So it's becoming hard and hard. But if you have a system, if you have if you have a pipeline of automated systems, then you wouldn't really survive. If you don't have it, you wouldn't survive. It's really hard to survive because you need to do a lot of things manually, going back and forth. So, for example, if I wanted to say like blueprint of a step by step of how to do this is try to find deals. Obviously, there are very known ways to do it. I'm still finding deals. I actually literally put another property under contract yesterday. You can find them by sending letters. You can find them by sending postcards. You can start calling them. You can drive around. You can tell people that you want to buy. There are going to be a lot of people that will reach out to you, and a lot of times you don't actually get to an agreement, and that's fine. But this is the time that a lot of people are also trying to make money by just owning a property, but they can't really do anything with it. This is a perfect example that you talk to them about seller financing. You don't have to pay 9%. It's really the interest rate that's killing a lot of cash flows. If you can get the seller to be your bank, and after this call, I'm gonna call another individual that he was like, dude, I'm okay with giving you seller financing of 30 years fixed. Just give me something close to market price. To me, that's amazing because I would be able to get 5% or 4% on something for 30 years. Even if I'm going to buy something closer to market value, my cash flow will still survive. But again, going back to what I started with, it's all about why. I'm not because of my situation, I have a job, I have a steady income. I'm really going after cash flow. I really want to just have that box built. Remember, I don't care if you give me like $5 million of equity or 200,000. Obviously, I care, but I mean, that's not my goal. My goal is to have a specific amount of money coming inside my household every month. For that, cash flow is the most important thing for me. And for cash flow, interest rate is the most important thing. So that's the reason that I call 97 banks. See? The why is there. It gets you to do these actions. So if you're not doing the actions, go back and look into the root, which is your why. And then when you can have seller financing, now you'll have cash flow. And then it comes with strategies that you talked about, which is like, hey, I have this property under contract that can still survive as a rental for one single family home. But what if you do it as a co-living space? And now instead of that, you actually have double of cash flow. Then you'll learn, what if I can add an ADU in the back, and now I can also make that and shared co-living space. There you go. Now you're increasing your cash flow. And honestly, you just do this like 10 times, and then you'll have like $20,000 coming to your house. I mean, that's it, guys. Because again, remember, this is the country that you can get a loan for 30 years. This is a country that you can talk to people to do it, seller financing. This is a country that you would be able to close a property with a title company.